89 facts about the 89 Super Smash Bros. Let's do this. Mario. Mario has died 3 separate times in the Smash Bros. Reveal trailers. Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's giant punch has no origin from another game, although it might be based on a punch from the Donkey Kong Country animated series. In this scene, you can see him winding up his punch before hitting this button. Link. In Smash Ultimate, Link's forward smash will fire a projectile if he's at 0%, and this is a reference to Breath of the Wild where you can fire a beam from your sword. Samus. Samus's Foul Smash in Brawl is a reference to the ending of the original Metroid, where Samus loses her armor and surprises the player that they've been playing as a lady all along. Yoshi. Yoshi's grab in Melee was awful, and when I say it was awful, I mean just look at this. It's awful. Kirby. Canonically, Kirby is the strongest Smash Bros character by far, and if you want to know why, check out this Smash Bros video I made like 3 years ago. Fox. Fox has a taunt Easter egg on the stage Corneria, where he is contacted by his crew, and it's pretty awesome. Pikachu. Pikachu was unanimously chosen as the best character in Smash Bros 64. His offstage and edgeguarding game just made it insanely hard to counter. Luigi. Luigi's only unique voice clip in Melee is the spray noise he uses in his victory animation. Literally everything else is altered voice clips from Mario and even some from Pikachu's attacks. Ness. There is a sound file of Ness saying PK Starstorm in the original Smash Bros 64 game.
PK Starstorm!
And coincidentally, this is his final smash in Brawl, which makes sense because final smashes were planned to be in the original games but couldn't be implemented due to technical limitations. Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon's moveset is mostly based on the original fighters from the Dragon King fighting game, which was the first version of Smash Bros. Where no Nintendo characters were featured. Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff's reflection will still have his eyes open when doing rest on Fountain of Dreams. Well, at least in Melee. Princess Peach. In Melee and Brawl, Princess Peach has a 1 in 768 chance of plucking a beam sword, but unfortunately this was taken out in the later games. Bowser. Bowser was originally planned to be in Super Smash Bros 64, but was ultimately cut from the final game. Ice Climbers. The Ice Climbers were added because Sakurai considered them to be the best classic NES representative from that era, which means that other characters like Balloon Fighter, Excite Bike, and even Bubbles were considered. Sheik. In the Japanese version of Melee, Sheik says, "I got it." Which is apparently the first sentence voiced by a Zelda character in a Nintendo game. Zelda. Zelda does a dab on frame 16 of her neutral B in Melee. She do be dabbing though. Dr. Mario. In Melee, if Dr. Mario's pill gets a phantom hit, which is basically a hit that doesn't register, it'll make the sound of a Koopa shell impact. Which is hilarious. Pichu. Pichu was only added as a joke character, which is why it damaged itself when fighting. Even Sakurai himself stated that Pichu was made bad on purpose. Falco. You can actually destroy Falco's Landmaster in Brawl if you deal enough damage. Marth. Marth and Roy were nearly cut from the American version of Melee because no Fire Emblem games had been released yet in the States. Young Link. Young Link has an incredible bladder. Just look at him. He's still drinking the milk. How is he able to do this? He's still doing it. Ganondorf. Ganondorf's sword isn't actually canon. It was only used in the 2000 Space World trailer for the Legend of Zelda game. Mewtwo. You can unlock Mewtwo in Melee by literally just standing in the middle of Pokemon Stadium for 20 hours. And I remember being shocked as a kid seeing this work. Roy. Roy actually appeared in Smash Bros. Before the release of his own game. Fire Emblem 6 released 6 months after Melee. Mr. Game & Watch. Mr. Game & Watch shield in Melee doesn't even fully cover its body, and supposedly this was due to a coding error that was never fixed. Meta Knight. Meta Knight was so broken in Brawl that he created an entirely new tier, the SS tier, and ultimately was banned from tournament play. Pit. There is an Easter egg on Palutena's temple where Palutena will explain to Pit who the character he's fighting is. And funny enough, Pit has an existential crisis when she talks about young Link.
Wait, I'm not the only me? And nothing I do matters because another me will do the opposite? Then what's the point of doing anything?
Zero Suit Samus. You can actually see Zero Suit Samus in Smash Bros 64. If you pause right when Ness hits Samus with a PK Thunder, you can see her model. Wario. This is what it looks like when characters are inside Wario's mouth. They look hilarious. Snake. Hideo Kojima approved Snake for Smash, mostly because his son was a big fan of the series. And honestly, his inclusion was shocking because it was a third-party character from an M-rated game. Ike. Ike has different voice actors for his alternate skins.
Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself.
Pokemon Trainer. Pokemon Trainer had a game-breaking glitch where you could fill up Joker's arsenal insanely fast. And because of this, the pair were briefly banned from double play. Charizard. Charizard actually takes damage when swimming in water. Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong was originally planned to be paired with Dixie Kong, and their playstyle was going to be similar to Pokemon Trainer and the Ice Climbers. Lucas. The snake that comes out of Lucas's hand for his grab is actually a character in itself. It is known as the Rope Snake from Mother 3. Sonic. Sonic is so fast that it can keep up with the cars on the F-Zero Big Blue map. Man, I had so much fun doing this when I was a kid. King Dedede. Sakurai, the creator of Smash Bros. And the Kirby series, voices King Dedede, and has been voicing him since Kirby 64. Olimar. Olimar's helmet will crack when it takes enough damage, which just shows the amount of detail they put into Ultimate. Lucario. There was a glitch in Smash 4 where Lucario's head would do a 360 after doing an angled forward tilt, which looked pretty disturbing. Rob. Funny enough, Rob is the only character from the real world, since it's based on the 1985 NES toy, which I still don't really know what it does. Toon Link. Toon Link wasn't originally going to be the only Toon character. Toon Zelda and Toon Sheik were also planned for Brawl, but were eventually scrapped due to time constraints. Wolf. Wolf was almost cut from Brawl due to time constraints, and it's pretty noticeable since a lot of his moves are variants of other fighter moves, like Sonic's up air and even his nair, and a lot of Fox's moves. Villager. Villager was actually considered to be a character in Brawl, but it was deemed to be not suitable as a fighter. Mega Man. Mega Man's wall jump is a reference to the X series games. Wii Fit Trainer. The reason why you see Wii Fit Trainer doing a tree pose up smash in the World of Light trailer is because that move is an invisibility frame, but as you can see, it didn't really work out. Get it? Work out? Okay. Rosalina and Luma. In Rosalina's and Luma's trailer, you can see a glitch with her dress with her nair. Her dress just kind of pops up and her legs seem to be invisible. Little Mac. Little Mac was the first assist trophy to become an actual fighter. Greninja. Greninja's down taunt can actually KO an opponent at a certain percent. It seems they have to be around the 550% range. Mii Fighter. The Mii Fighters are original Smash Bros. Characters and are not the same as the Miis in Wii Sports. Palutena. Palutena actually debuted in Brawl in the Subspace Emissary. This was also her first appearance in 3D. Pac-Man. Only on the 3DS version of Smash 4 in the game mode Street Smash, Pac-Man has its original death sound. You know, the one from Pac-Man. Lucina. Lucina's Final Smash critical hit will negate the effects of the metal box. Even in Special Smash, where the characters are permanently metallic, her Final Smash will revert the character to their non-metal selves. Robin. Robin is the only Fire Emblem Awakening character who isn't an Echo Fighter. Shulk. In the World of Light trailer, you can actually see Shulk looking back at what presumes to be Kirby, since the perspective is shorter than Mario, which is an awesome detail since Shulk can predict the future and Kirby was the last hope to save everyone. Dark Pit. Also in the World of Light trailer, when Palutena is consumed, you can see Pit and Dark Pit lose their flight. But this shouldn't be for Dark Pit, since he gets his power from Pandora and Veridity. Bowser Jr. When Kirby copies Bowser Jr., it'll have a cannon spawn from his mouth when attacking, which honestly would look terrifying firsthand. Dunk Hunt. When you think about it, Dunk Hunt is actually 3 separate characters fused into one. You have the dog, the duck, and the hunter, who is using the zapper at the duo. Ryu. Ryu actually connects the Marvel Universe to the Smash Bros. Universe because of the Marvel vs. Capcom game. Palutena's guidance even references the Marvel Universe and talks about the cyborgs, androids, mutants, and even the superheroes.
He's faced off against all kinds of competitors over the years. Cyborgs, androids, mutants, giant monsters, superheroes, aliens, and demons, to name a few.
Which is pretty awesome. Cloud. Cloud was released with the least amount of songs, with only 2. This was because of copyright issues explained by Sakurai. Corrin. Corrin is half dragon, which is why it turns into a dragon when it attacks. And that's the best fact that I can find about this character in Smash Bros. Bayonetta. The clock on Bayonetta's stage will show you the actual current time. Inkling. One of Inkling's alternate skins is based on a character from the Splatoon manga. Yes, there's actually a manga, and the character's name is Specs. Daisy. In Melee, if you zoom in beyond Daisy's hair, you can actually find a third eye, which is pretty disturbing. Ridley. Ridley for the longest time was probably the most wanted character for Smash Bros. You can even hear the crowd at E3 2001 getting hyped after seeing Ridley in the trailer. But unfortunately, he wasn't added during this time because his model was just too big. Simon. Simon's Final Smash is called the Grand Cross, but funny enough, he was never able to use this in the Castlevania games. His Echo Fighter Richter is the one who canonically knows it. Richter. If you put Richter to sleep, you'll hear him dreaming about Dracula. Chrom. Chrom is still featured in Robin's Final Smash, even though he's his own character now, which is pretty funny given that you can use his Final Smash against himself. Dark Samus. Dark Samus is probably the most evil character in Smash Bros. Yes, probably more evil than Kazuha. King K. Rool. King K. Rool's Final Smash is pretty awesome, since it's a reference to the Game Over cutscene from Donkey Kong 64. Isabelle. In Isabelle's Final Smash, she throws a Triforce when building her house, so she's probably a lot stronger than we think. Ken. In Ken's reveal trailer, you can see him pairing into his Final Smash, which is probably a direct reference to the EVA moment number 37, which I would say is the most hype moment in all of gaming. That clip gives me chills every time. Incineroar. Incineroar is the only Pokemon to not have a special move based on his primary typing. It only uses fighting and dark type moves. Piranha Plant. If you footstool Piranha Plant while it's kneeling, it will actually damage you, just like for the Mario games. Joker. Joker has the same voice actor as the announcer. You know, the one that goes, Mario, Luigi. Hero. Hero's critical hit sound is dependent on the skin. Each hero has its own sound from their respective game. Banjo and Kazooie. Banjo and Kazooie probably would have been in Smash Bros. Melee if it weren't for Microsoft buying out Rare. And this made me salty for several years until they finally added them to Ultimate. And honestly, I still can't believe they're in the game now. I don't really need any other character besides Banjo and Kazooie. My dream character has gotten in. Terry. Technically, if it were for Terry, Smash Bros. Probably wouldn't exist, since his origin game, Fatal Fury and King of Fighters, is what got Sakurai into fighting games. Byleth. Byleth is the newest character featured in Smash Bros. Since the release date of Fire Emblem Three Houses was in 2019. And what's even more mind-bending is that his release was after Smash Bros. Ultimate. Min Min. For Min Min's reveal trailer, Sakurai invited the voice actor for Captain Falcon to come and make slurping noises, which is honestly amazing. Steve. Steve's victory screen looked like he was holding his, well, take a look for yourself. They ended up changing this later in an update. Sephiroth. Under the right conditions, Sephiroth can deal 59,000 damage, which is the most damage that any character can deal. Pyra and Mythra. Pyra is heavier than Mythra, which is probably a reference from Xenoblade when Rex jokes about Pyra being heavy.
So heavy!
What did you say?
Kazuha. Kazuha has the most moves out of any Smash Bros. Character, with a total of 38. And finally, Sora. Sora was revealed today as the final Super Smash Bros. Ultimate character. And man, I can't believe he's a Smash Bros. This is crazy. And also, according to Sakurai, Sora was the most voted character in the Smash Bros. Ballot. And finally, after 6 years, he has made it to Smash Bros. Thanks to Nintendo and Disney working out the copyright and all that. And I bet a ton of people are happy about this. So yeah, there you go. The final character in Smash Bros. Ultimate. But we'll see how that ages in a few years from now. And there you go, 89 facts about the 89 Super Smash Brothers. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my other Smash Bros video where I talk about the power scaling of all the Smash Bros characters. Or if you want to watch another big fact video, check out my facts about the original 151 Pokemon. Just click on the end card right now on either of them. And also, subscribe.